Me, Emperor AP, and I am honored today to have a distinguished guest with us. We have today with us, all the way from the Empire of Draconia, Emperor Von Doom himself. How you doing today,
Greetings,
buddy?
everyone.
Greetings,
Greetings.
everyone. Greetings.
Today, we are going to be talking primarily about micronationalism and its connection to politics. Just about everybody that I know of, at least, that has started a micronation has done so in some form or fashion because they want to see a change in the world. They want to see the life that they live be different than what they're seeing now. And some people say they get into micronationalism to escape politics, and we can kind of talk a little bit about all of that. But really, what your idea of the way you see life and what you want your life to be ultimately decides how your micronation is going to develop, what kind of government structure you're going to have, what the politics inside of your nation is going to be like, because you can't avoid politics. It's kind of the nature of life. So we're going to be discussing all of that, and we're going to be talking a little bit about what that means in respect to Eternia and Draconia and their relations. I'm glad everybody's here. We have 10 viewers right now and 4 likes. I appreciate you guys being here. And with that, I guess I will start to ask a couple questions to Emperor Von Doom. Um, Emperor Von Doom and I have known each other for a little while. We got introduced over the internet, but um, uh, pretty quickly I've started to learn a lot about Draconia and about himself and Empress Alicia, his wife, and as well other leader of Draconia, and their story is really inspiring to me. The way that they're developing, the way that they're building their life and their family, and what that means to them as far as their nation is inspiring to me. And so I guess I just wanted to start off by asking Emperor Von Doom if you could, for everybody that doesn't know Draconia, for anybody that wants to get more involved, maybe if you could tell them a little bit about what you do, why you decided to get into micronationalism, and a little bit about who you are.
Well, Draconia was
Draconia was
created around
created around
1995,
1995,
and
and
it was
it was
created to
created to
address a number of
address a number of
issues
issues
that were
that were
plaguing and still
plaguing
plague
and
to this
still plague
day
to this day
members of the
members
African
of
American
the African
community.
American community.
But as we
But
began
as we began
to
to
evolve,
evolve,
it became something
it became
greater.
something greater.
Now, like
Now,
a
like
lot
a
of
lot of
micronations,
micronations,
we
we
manifested and
manifested
then
and then
broke apart.
broke apart.
But during the
But during the
time that
time that
Draconia was on
Draconia was
ice,
on ice,
uh, I,
uh, I,
AP, am I
AP, am I
Emperor AP,
Emperor
am I
AP? Am
echoing?
I echoing?
I wanted to bring that up as well. I didn't want to interrupt you, but it seems like people are saying my audio is bad and that they're getting the echo on your end. So I'm not 100% sure what's happening. Let me check my
Okay.
end. Let us know what's happening. Sorry, I'm jumping in and out trying to mess with settings.
Yes.
Yes.
Do I sound muffled or anything on your end?
You sound
You
clear
sound
now,
clear now,
but most
Okay.
of
but
what you were
most of
saying in the
what you were
beginning,
saying in the
I
beginning,
missed all of it.
I missed all of it.
Oh wow. Okay.
And
And
Empress
Empress
Alicia was
Alicia was
saying that you
saying
were
that
in and
you
out
were
as
in and
well.
out
She's
as
watching
well.
on
She's
TV.
watching on TV.
Okay. I appreciate it. I'm sorry for the trouble. Let's see. I maybe the audio feedback is from my end. Like I'll say
No,
a thing
No,
and then you say it and then it's playing back. So what I can do is if the audio is clear now on my end, I can mute myself while you speak. And maybe that'll help. We can try that.
see now
see
you're fading
now
out
you're
again.
fading out again.
Oh goodness. Okay. Michael Ryan is saying we're both clear, but there's an echo. Christian is saying affirmative. There's an echo on Emperor Von Doom's end and muffled audio on Emperor AP's end. Okay, let me move my camera. How does this sound? Is my audio any clearer? Maybe I was on the microphone or something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you went
you
silent
went
again.
silent again.
Oh goodness. Okay. Okay, so this is worse, I guess. Um, hmm. Let me try doing something. I'm gonna mute my microphone. Can you tell me whether or not you can, whether people can hear the echo when you speak? So,
Speak. Can't hear you.
correct. I muted myself. I wanted to see right then if other people heard the echo from you
Okay.
when I muted. So,
Um, I
um, I
I still hear my echo.
I still hear my echo. Goodness. Okay. Yeah, people are saying the audio is worse than yesterday. I'm not sure if it's something because of the group stream or what. Oh, Michael Ryan said no echo when you mute. Okay. So I think it's from my end. I'm I'm causing the echo on your end because it plays my audio out loud. Maybe
Let's see if
if
that no, it's
no,
still
it's still
really. Uh,
really sorry about that. Can everybody hear me? Emperor Von Doom, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I can hear you. Okay. Um, let me see. How about now? Can you hear me?
Say something.
Say
Continue
something.
talking.
Keep going. Hello, Emperor AP, Aeternia noises.
Okay, that was
Okay, that
clearer.
was clearer. Okay. Um, I apologize about the difficulty. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. I think I'll just have to
My
mute
earbuds
myself
in
when you're
my
speaking.
gym bag.
Gym bag.
I'm
I'm not
gonna
sure.
do the
I'm gonna
same. I'll
do the same. I'll
see if I can
see
use
if I
my
can use my
earbuds to
earbuds to
cancel that.
cancel that. I think it's a problem on my end. I'm trying to plug in my headphones, but they're not connecting properly. So my apologies. I have Bluetooth headphones actually. Sorry about the difficulties, everybody. Give me just 1 second, and I will get this resolved one way or another. If I have my Bluetooth headphones. Which it seems I do not, and there is Tiffany's in class, so I can't grab hers. Um,
Now you
I
sound
guess you sound worse.
clearer,
Clearer,
actually.
actually. Clearer. Okay.
Yes.
Maybe this will help a little bit. I'll just try and project more. Um, I'll go ahead and mute myself when you speak, so that way we can continue the conversation. Christian
You
says
know what I
Emperor Von. You know
noticed?
what I noticed?
The when the
When the
when the messages come up,
messages come up.
if that is affecting it.
My apologies, Emperor Von Doom. You sounded a little bit robotic there. Could you repeat yourself?
I was just noticing that when the text appear, you sort of faded out. But again, you sound a lot better. How do I sound?
You sound all right now. A little bit robotic. I think it's my internet quality. But again,
Okay.
I'm gonna try and mute myself to see if that helps when you speak.
All right.
But if uh, I assume everybody heard the initial part, a little bit about Draconia. Eh, I guess trying to continue that conversation and moving
Yes.
forward from there. What do you feel like is your hope for Draconia? When you think about micronationalism, when you think about your family and creating this thing, you talked about these specific ideals, these specific issues that you've seen in your life and in the United States and elsewhere that really affect you and others in your similar situation. Um, uh, what do you think is your hope for the future then?
My hope for the future is that Draconia can be a beacon of light and power not just for people here in the United States, but globally. As I was trying to say before the communications difficulties, while Draconia was on ice, I, as its emperor, continued to evolve. And I know that a lot of people here on this landmass known as North America have been through a lot of trauma, not just people of African descent, but even those who are accepting themselves as their oppressors. Uh, there's no way for you to come out of a situation like America, meaning its inception, without some kind of trauma on both parts of the victim and the victimizer. But in Draconia, there is no victim to it. We are not victims. We are not whiners or blamers. In Draconia, there is no black or white. In Draconia, you are Draconian. That is it. And while I may champion causes that affect people of African descent, the African diaspora on a global scale, it is assistance in order to evolve. A people cannot thrive while bathing in the blood of the past. They must look forward to the future. They must become something greater than their woes and their wounds. You are challenged by the universe itself, which again, we talk about the politics. Draconia is rooted in spirituality and science. And as a scientist, I cannot deny the science that we are all human beings to start. It doesn't matter what shade you are, shape, gender. We are all together on this planet, neighbors. Depending on how you look at it, we're either neighbors or we're roommates. And being who I am, we're roommates. This is a very small planet in some senses. So if I were to take a trip to Egypt, I would, of course, marvel at the sights and the environment is new. But I would eventually come to the conclusion that, oh, this is just my backyard. There's nowhere on this planet that should be barred from me or anyone else for that matter. But because we live with other people who recognize boundaries and borders, I will respect that and I will act in kind. If I can't step on your borders, guess what? I have some too. Until that day that we can experience, I hate to say this, but Gene Roddenberry's dream of a united planet where all your needs are met and your wants are optional. We recognize these borders. And so many times you've mentioned how war is stupid. I agree, war is very stupid. But when you deal with stupid people, I'm not going to be a pacifist and say, well, because you don't know any better, I'll let you punch me in the face. Or, you know what, you don't know any better, I'm going to let you do this to that person over there. No, I'm not going to do that. And I know you wouldn't either. I'm just saying that war is not the first thing on the table. It is not why we were formed. We were formed to address a problem, but as I said, I had to evolve. And I realized the problem ran a lot deeper than skin color. It's a matter of nature. It's a matter of spirit. You know, if anyone out there has had to deal with somebody because of such issues, if any of you out there feel that you are different from someone because of the shade of your skin or your gender or anything else, try calling that person something dear to you. Say brother, say sister, say mother. I respect my elders, even if this woman does not look like me, and if she wants to become verbally caustic, the first thing that comes to my mind is she's my elder, and I'm going to walk away from her. Unfortunately, these days, people are very violent. They are weak in a lot of ways, but their response is violence. And if you come at me as a combatant, then all age, all that stuff is gone, and you must be dealt with. So Draconia is not a warrior state. We're based in, again, science and spirituality. The particular mode of spirituality is what you might call magic, spiritual science. We have, I guess, how could I put it? I guess I'll put it in terms that everyone can understand. We would be considered a theocratic aristocracy, not in the old European sense, where the church rules and whatever our prerogative is right now, we could do whatever we want. No, it is based on a scientific principle. We, again, call it magic, but to speak commonly of it, I'll just say spirituality, non-religious. And we, as the royal family, have a special responsibility to the empire and to the rest of the world to govern ourselves appropriately. We're dynasty builders. Everything that we do must be considered from the point of view of what effect will this have hundreds of years from now. So we don't play the race card, though we understand everyone else does. We don't play the we're better than you card. We understand everyone else does. But we do have a hierarchy. We have tiers. And it's easy to understand if you look at it in a biological sense. Your head is literally the head. But your head doesn't go anywhere without the feet or the legs or any of its support scaffolding. It all has its place. I'm not going to choose my hand over my foot or my foot over my hand. It all works together and it does what it needs to do. My eyelids blink automatically. My subconscious is automatically controlling things that I consciously or frontally cannot control. It would just be too much. And that is how an empire is run. Pretty much like a biological organism. Everyone does their part, and the empire moves along just fine. When you have an imbalance, there's an illness you have to deal with. So that's the easiest way that you could look at it. And I would suggest everyone else look at their kingdoms and empires in a similar fashion. I know people say, oh, emperor, you must be full of your ego. Yeah, it's there. No doubt. I'm not denying that. But I'm not here to flex my ego. I could do that on my own without an empire. That's quite easy. No, the responsibility of an empire is you're like a father, a butler, a chauffeur. You're the biggest servant one could ever imagine. You serve so many people. No, there's no room for ego, or you will fall quickly. So Draconia, again, is based on science, spirituality. But with the one project that we were working on, is kind of taking a back seat, was we're looking at sustainable energy sources for our community when we purchase some land. And now it's progressed to a special type of closed magnetohydrodynamic system where we can bleed off energy from, how can I put it? Similar to the tokamak fusion system, but it's exploiting MHD principles where there's no radiation, it's just energy off of the circulation of a plasma. So I'll update you as developments perceived that way. Uh, but what else? Mm, as far as being a citizen of Draconia, you don't have to have the same uh, spiritual or religious views as the royal family. Uh, do your thing. It's just that we have some basics, as far as we don't ascribe anything that leads to the harm or degradation of children. We are big on family values, family unity. You don't have to be spiritual because spirituality does not enforce itself or its views on anyone. Even if you are a so-called atheist, if you take care of yourself, your family, you're clean, you have some kind of moral framework. That to us is spiritual. That to us is just fine. Yeah, you're doing what you need to do for your body, your friends, your family, your community, and you're part of the whole organism. It doesn't matter, what you inherently think you believe. You're a living, breathing, sentient being, and we respect that. So, um, our flag. Now, this banner is just a part of it. We are called Draconia because I have a certain love for the dragon, and some of my spiritual practices are what you call draconian, uh, ancient uh, magic or sorcery. Sorcery is a rather controversial term, but please don't mistake in us for running around uh, thinking that we can, fly on brooms or, this is Hogwarts or anything like that. No, like I said, it's science of manipulation of reality in accordance with one's will. And a lot of people like to equate that with quantum physics while not really understanding what quantum physics actually is. It's quantum is a very, 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 very small measurement. So I won't use those terms. You won't hear me throwing quantum around like people. Um, as a scientist, I know that it's just a measurement. It's not anything special. So other than that, that's Draconia. Um, like I said, we have certain challenges, and again, at the end of the day, we look to help the world. You may hear on certain platforms me challenging things like reparations for the children of the African diaspora, but at the same time, you may hear me say something in regards or favoring the uh, the relief needed for Palestine or other people that are suffering some form of oppression. Also, there's oppressions that are so subtle that we've all accepted it, such as poison water, poison soil, poison air. I'm sorry, that cannot be ignored. I can give you one example. When before Draconia, I was part of a number of grassroots organizations in Ohio, and a lot of times the brothers we would all be angry at a police beating or a police raped a young girl, and we would march in the streets. And the marching for me was not enough. So I would tell them, I said, we need to change the world's view of our people, particularly of Black men. We are always beastified. We're always considered dangerous or angry. And again, this was before the internet really got really big. And a lot of them would say, they said, well, what's your idea? I said, why don't we plant some trees? Why don't we clean up the neighborhood? Why don't we create some businesses? And they would say, we're not tree huggers. We need to deal with these cops, and we need to, protect our people first. We can't deal with the planet, or any of that stupid stuff. We got to take care of our people. I thought that was so backwards. I said, we live on this planet. Why don't we do something that's contrary to what everybody's thinking? Take care of our neighborhood. clean up the air, start businesses. They didn't want to hear that, so I broke away. And that was when I started fashioning, what if I could build my own country? And I didn't know anything about micronations. I didn't know anything about it when I created it. And I ran into another group of people called Moors. And they have their own, there's a number of Moorish nations out there. That's a conversation for another day. And one of the Moors from New York helped us fashion uh, the empire by giving us the knowledge of how to create a country, understanding the laws of the land, understanding our inherent sovereignty, and how to shape that into a unified sovereign government. So I took the information that he gave us and I created the Draconian Empire. And so when this Moorish king reviewed what I had created, he said to me, he said, Victor, you've created something that is not just for one people. You've created something that the world is going to want and the world is going to need. This is not just for quote unquote Black people. And this was a Moor of African descent. This is big. And I didn't understand at the time. And so again, once we disbanded and my anger left, I evolved and realized, I said, yes, this is bigger than me. This is bigger than us. This is something that is global, or it can be global. And the world isn't hurt, and everyone needs this. So that's where we are today. The air needs to be clean, the soil, the water. I have two companies that I need to change over to place them into the private sector of the empire. And these companies are research and development companies. And we have a number of ideas for cleaning the water, for restoring the balance of nature to the best of our ability, things to stabilize the magnetic fields that are being affected by all of the devices that we've created globally, have effects on our environment. The 5G, I don't care what your position is on 5G or any of the other internet devices out there, but the reality is that RF going everywhere, our environment is not used to that. We need to come up with better technologies for communication. I'm not saying that, the RF is causing cancer, any of that. All I am saying is that we have a lot of electromagnetic radiation, which is not native to our environment. We need to be careful how much we're cranking out. So fiber optics, we have those, but we need something a little bit more, I don't want to say safe, but more efficient and less. We need to put some real, I'm trying to look for the word, put some reins on all of the use of the RF, just constant use of it. Come up with something different. So that's long term, long way down the pipeline. But again, science and technology is the future. It's always been. Every culture has blossomed due to some type of scientific innovation. And then that's downplayed. How, as I was talking to you before, how can we not progress without science? If you're using sticks and stones, and I start mining and discover aluminum. Aluminium can be pounded into weapons. Now I have an advantage. And then you find bronze. You develop some bronze. Okay, you've got the advantage. Now I develop steel. And so that's how that goes. We don't need to feel like we've reached our pinnacle and we just sit on our duffs and say, oh, everything is okay. We've got cell phones and TVs that talk to us and everything's great. No, we have a lot of work to do. So I could go on and on and on, but as you can see, this is our focus, perfection of the so-called human to something more divine, as well as perfecting our technology so that we can heal our planet. So I think you all know that we have a pollution problem. We have a number of problems. forever plastics, on and on and on and on. And that's another reason why Draconia, Emperor Von Doom, is really, how can I put this? I am really crazy about Eternia. Um, Emperor AP is brilliant, he's kind, and what is needed in this world. So I would implore all of you to support Emperor AP as much as possible. And if there are any Eternians watching, please, if there's more that you can do for Eternia, please do it. He's busy doing a lot. He and Tiffany aren't playing around. They're honing the greatest power and weapon one can know, and that is knowledge. So that's all I can say on that.
Well, first off, Emperor Von Doom, thank you so much for your support. It always means a lot to us. Um, in particular, well, before I begin, do I sound all right?
Yeah, now there's a little behind it, but that's okay. I can still hear you.
Okay, cool deal. Um, uh, for me, one of the things that you touched on that really resonated with me was the concept that you're trying to progress in this concept of moving beyond borders, moving beyond racial boundaries, maybe even certain cultural boundaries. And you're even going so far, it seems, from what you're saying, as to say that even though your nation is built through the lens of your own religion and your own beliefs, that that is still open and welcoming to people of all different beliefs and all different ways of life, so long as they can merge equally well. The thing that's interesting about that is a lot of societies around the world say, well, we have freedom of religion, we have freedom of speech, we have all of these things which should protect people, and yet, as you talked about with police shootings, as you talked about with, and we've just seen through the news, religious bigotry and hatred of people of all different walks of life. Uh, what do you feel like it is that's necessary to make that distinction? To say, well, we're not just saying we're making these things and we're building these things, but how is it that you've learned to put that into practice to to positively affect people, to let people know this is different than just those
Yeah.
words. This is a powerful action.
The main thing is through practice. You do it yourself. You walk the walk that you talk. What do I mean? As a doctor uh, of metaphysics, as a scientist, as a practitioner of the ancient art, let's go with our favorite group, Christians. And I have a lot of Christian friends, some of which don't know what I practice fully. But they would say, oh, you're a devil worshiper. Anything that's not of us is evil. But these are the same people whom would come to me if they were ill, heal me. Uh, if these people were hurt, I would help them. If they were in danger, I would protect them. Uh, and does that make me cringe? No, because I also know that there are elements as far as spirituality and religion that are similar. During a certain event, I think we all know that just is kind of still going on, but really heavy last 2 years. Um, I found that we had more in common with a lot of my Christian friends during that time than any other time, and that was, you're not going to violate me against my rights. You're not going to do this, you're not going to do that. I was on that same line only because I knew I could treat myself, I could treat my family. I knew different ways of dealing with this. I have knowledge of biology, microbiology, all these things. I have certain, uh, labs and things of that nature. that I could exploit. So now, where theirs was prayer and religion, that's their choice. But we have similar family values there. Um, and in some instances, I'd rather deal with a person that has some religion than some people who don't, because a person that doesn't believe in anything, usually can be fooled by any means. Some people who have religion, they even if it seems silly, they have a line they draw in the sand. They say, "I'm not doing it because the great Bobo says not to do it, and Bobo says that you can't do it, and you can't do it on this day." Okay, well, that they have a structure. I can respect that structure. But a person that has nothing, they say, "I can do what I want. I'm going to marry this. I'm going to marry this goat. I fell in love with this goat, and I gargle glass, and I play basketball with my children's heads. So I just do whatever I want to do." Well, I know that all sounds rather ridiculous, but I've seen some really ridiculous things lately. And if again, you don't have any moral compass, or again, some type of restriction, it makes it hard to communicate. I have a friend who is similar to that, and um, we always end up arguing over different things. And I say, "Look, I have standards. I have things I put in little categories, and it doesn't. We don't always get along, but I find that my religious friends, I do, and that is because I, as a spiritual practitioner, spiritual being, can recognize our union, even if they don't. So, as a leader, an emperor, let's say that we take on a protectorate of, the kingdom of Christendom, another micronation. They say, "Hey, we want to join the Draconian Empire." I'm not going to say, "No, no Christians allowed here." No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to say, "You read the requirements? Yes. You understand? You understand what we're about? Yes. You don't have a problem with the dragon? Well, I mean, in our religious thing, but we understand that, this is okay. You're fine. We can work together. Um, are you going to come in and try to evangelize and all these kind of things? No, we're not going to play that game. You do your thing. We do our thing. Okay. I'm not trying to say, you know what? I'm going to crush religion and create spirituality. That's no. Freedom of religion is accepted here, but maybe not by all the people. So we're not going to police them. That's what we run into a lot. Okay. Um, I have children who are threatened. It's funny, that the people that threatened them in school uh, were people that, how can I put this? These were people that thought that sagging their pants and gang banging was the greatest thing in the world. But when my children spoke up and said something that was counter to the culture of Christendom, they became religious all of a sudden. I was angry, but it was the funniest thing after I thought about it. I said, "Wait a minute, these kids are not don't have any spirituality in their actions or anything, and they don't care." But then my son spoke up, and because the teacher said, "We're going to go over ancient Egyptian history. We're going to talk about the Egyptian gods, even though we know that there's only one God. We're going to go over this anyway." And then my son chimed in and said, "How do we know there's only one God?" And these Egyptian gods, they were as real to those people as your Jesus is to you. And then that's when the teacher attacked him. The other kids verbally attacked him. And then they said, "You better accept Jesus or we're going to kick your you know what after school." And he said, "No, you're not going to do that." And they said that you're a devil worshiper. And my son said, "The devil does not require my worship." Okay. And you all are idiots. So then he was going to be suspended. But the children were going to beat him up, and the teacher let this happen. So this is just a little example of what I'm talking about. There's tolerance. There's not really tolerance here for anything. It's like the Church of Satan. wanted to have their statue up. Something happened in California. Don't quote me on this, but they wanted their statue up and recognized a part of the world religions, and the people were just having a fit. We're going to take it down, and we're going to go to our capital and fight this, yada yada yada. And I'm like, well, I'm not a Satanist, but if that's what they do, then that's what they do. So you can't oppose them. And in fact, Satanism should be right there with Christianity because it's in the same mythos. If you understand what I'm saying, um, it's like uh, uh, Hellenists being opposed to people who just want to worship Pluto. Well, no, that's all the gods, and devils and chthonic beings and everything. No, it's all together. So in Draconia, no, there's none of that, and it starts with uh, the blood. It starts with the family. The family comes first. If you are Christian and you have a micronation, or if you're an individual who wants to join the empire, that's fine. If you are of the opposite camp to Christians, you're Satanist, that's fine. Okay. I make it clear. No harming children, no abuse of animals, no destruction of property. It's really basic. And children are at the height and pinnacle of everything. We all start as children. Remember, anyone that you don't like was someone's baby once. Remember that. Any leader that you don't like, and there's a lot of them that I could really, at times I'm like, I could just throw you in a pit. But then I remember that was somebody's baby. I imagine them as a toddler. Would I do that then? People say, if you, I don't know if you were asked this in college, this question about killing Hitler as a baby. We were asked this question. If you had a time machine, would you go back and kill Hitler before he, could rise to power? Would you kill him in the crib? And everybody's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. I said, no, I'm not killing no kid. And everybody looked at me like I'm crazy. And I said, no, I'm like, no. But all those Jewish people he killed, I said, he killed more than just Jewish people. First of all, is okay, you need some help. You need to study a lot more. And second, that does not excuse anything. If I had the power of time travel and if I just had to do something, I'd take little Hitler and I raise him myself. It's like, that's a good little Austrian. All right, now, I'll take you back to your parents and you're a little bit older. I've changed the time stream. Or maybe make his father not drink so much so he didn't beat him. I don't know, but I am not killing a child. I'm sorry. So, we live in this world where it's okay to do it this way, but no, 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 not over there. No, spirituality is holistic. Holistic. If you're Christian, if you're Jewish, or whatever it is that you are you a good person? Are you a good man or woman? A good mom or father? Okay, that's what we care about. And you do what you do. I have nothing against you. All right. But I know how people are. And if I don't agree with you, or if you don't agree with me in my practice, I'm going to hell. That's fine. Just don't put your hands on me or my children, and keep your prayers to yourself. I thank you. But no, I have plenty of Christians I love dearly. Okay. And the same for a number of other people who have certain religions. I don't care. That's just it. And in Draconia, there's none of that. We're better than you, because we practice this. You mundanes must, you know. No, that doesn't work like that.
And I can definitely appreciate that. I would say, first off, I'm sorry to hear about the issues that your children had in school. Um, I have seen similar experiences before with people who feel the need to really push their ideology, whether it's their religion or something else, onto others. Um, that really shows, though, that there is not only a plan that you have for governance in general and the ideas that you want to push forward, the method that you want to do things, but that also I feel touches on, like we talked about, this individual approach. You talk about things being holistic. Uh, that seems to encompass a way of treating other people, and I have to give the utmost respect for that because I think a lot of micronations, including myself at times, and Eternia, we plan out a lot as far as details of action. We want to do this, we want to do this, we need this is how much money we need for it, this is how many people we need, but we very rarely look at ourselves from a philosophical standpoint. How are we trying to treat people? What are the methods that we use to go about talking to people? What are the biggest things we want people to get out of what we're doing? And I think that has to do a lot with building culture. And I think sometimes micronations have trouble with that. So I can definitely appreciate how each of these things kind of tie together. And I think it's very beautifully done in Draconia.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anything that you feel like um, you have seen in micronationalism that you would like to address, or anything that you feel like you would like to give advice to people who are creating micronations? Because I think all the time people want to see a fresh perspective on that, and I'm curious as to what yours is.
Certainly, um, I would I would say that I find it important to again, uh, you must be the nation. You have to carry it in you. This is not something that you could do in your basement and then you leave and you're a normal person. Uh, in fact, it takes you not to be a normal person to attempt something like this. Um, I would say, yeah, you have to be your nation. You have to inceptualize it. If you're a king, what is a king? You need to know what that is. Are you king material? Are you developing yourself physically, mentally, spiritually? What does that mean? You need to know what that means. Are you eating right? Are you exercising? Okay. If you are a kingdom of one, in fact, this is a better example. If you're a kingdom of one, and I know some who uh, are you fit to be a kingdom? If someone approaches your kingdom, can you defend it? If they challenge you intellectually, can you defend it? What are your laws for your kingdom? You say, no one can approach me within 7 feet. No one can approach me within 3 feet. You don't do this, you don't do that. If you can govern yourself as a self-contained kingdom or empire, then you can expand out and start to formulate a micronation. Is your micronation uh, based on solving a problem? Are you good at social engineering? You need to ask yourself these things. Am I forming this because I just want to be boss? Well, if that's the case, start a business. Leave micronationalism alone. Are you just doing cosplay? Then put it out there. Make a new symbol for cosplay micronation. CP, CP micronation. I use the term seed nation for the Draconian Empire because I want it to be clear that we intend on growing. I'm not saying that I have anything against micronationalism, but if you look it up, you'll see so many. How can I put this? Condescending definitions of micronationalism. And of course, the macronations are in a position where they don't want anyone else. They don't want any competition. But see, those are the old dogs, and they're kind of long in the tooth, and they're gonna, do their normal attack and disregard, and you're a separatist, and you're a terrorist, and blah 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 blah. And we know how they are. We are the new blood, and we need to carry ourselves appropriately. So if you're going to create a micronation, you need to know why you exist. Would you fight for it? Would you die for it? Would you live for it? That is important. Would you live for that nation. Hence, start with yourself. Okay, I'm vegan, or no, I'm not vegan, but I eat the right foods. I eat grass-fed beef. I do this, I do that. I exercise every other day. I do meditation. Okay, I do martial arts. I read. Every time I reach a plateau in the gym, I finish a new book. Okay, garbage in, garbage out. So I don't watch, goofy TikToks with butt shaking and all stupid, just moronic things. I learn. Oh, TikTok video. Okay, how to hack this, fix that. Okay, got that. Oh, wait, I'm going to read an actual encyclopedia that has some truth in it. Okay. Okay. I'm going to learn something I don't know. I'm going to learn Arabic. That's what I'll do. And now, weeks later, I can at least say hello, goodbye, those kind of things. You build yourself. I'm not, I don't want anybody following me if I am not worthy, if I have not developed myself, if I can't say hi in at least two different languages. Um, that's what I would suggest. Know what you're doing, why you're doing it. Keep it real. Okay. Ask yourself every day, is this what I am? Is this what I am? Is this what I am? Like I said before, AP, Emperor AP, is a different entity altogether. And we all have a lot to learn. And this is where you start. It's important to have a man with a heart. And in the beginning, I looked at Emperor AP and I said, wow, I'm jaded, but he's clean. And he's got his heart is there. And I can feel that. And I know that real people of power can also feel that. And so I said, you know what? He's going to have challenge because of that. And if I'm existing on the micronational community level, or happen to know him personally, I'm gonna back him up. So I'd ask you all to do the same. A leader with a good heart is rare. Emperor AP doesn't seem like he's all about the ego and, this is the cult of personality. It's about me, 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 me. And if you're going to be a cult of personality, at least be a benefit to the people. You can be excuse my language, you can be an asshat, but still help out. But if you're just like, it's all about me, 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 and nobody else, you're not going to last. So, that's my take on that. Just know what you're doing, why you're doing it, and be truthful to yourself. So when people approach you and say, I want to join your nation, or tell me about your nation, and you're talking, you talk as if, so when I'm done, I am going to get in that car and I'm going to go back to my border, sign in, and go back to my nation. You want them to feel like, I want to know where it is. Where do I go? And you're like, no, it's right here. This is it. Okay. But when they can feel that energy, and I say this even to those of you who may not be spiritual, they feel that spiritual essence of your kingdom. That person knows, okay, then I want you to sit down and tell me how we can make this happen. Because I like what you're saying. I like how you're feeling. I want to feel like that too. And that's where we go from there. Are you solving a problem? If not, are you bringing a benefit? You don't have to always solve a problem, but you could bring a benefit. Like, I don't see anything wrong, but you know what? I want to be a kingdom that makes toys for children, and we will be called the Kingdom of Klaus. And you got a Santa Claus kingdom out there, and you're for real. And guess what? People like toys. Children like toys. That kind of kingdom would just blossom overnight. And you got this throne, and you got a red suit and everything else. And you're like, so this year, the Kingdom of Klaus will be in St. Louis, Missouri. We'll be handing out all the toys that we've made. So you guys try to make it there. Da, 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 da. We send out toys every year, and this is what we do. So it sounds ridiculous, but if you don't have a problem to solve, but you still want a kingdom, then provide something that makes life happy or easier. All right. And I know that doesn't usually fit with, ruling a nation. All right. But that's just what I'm saying. You've got to find out what you are, what you want to do, and live it for you and go from there.
I couldn't agree more, Emperor Von Doom. There are multiple things that you said right there that are very quotable. I feel like you said garbage in, garbage out. Know what you're doing. There are a number of things that really resonated with me in that. In particular, that concept of knowing what you're doing, of trying to make sure that uh, you're providing that value and that you really can see clearly where you're going is a hard thing for anyone at any stage. But constantly making sure that you're checking in with yourself, that you're learning more, that you're growing, that you're working on your own, psychology, that you're working on your own mental health. Very, very important in micronationalism. There are plenty of people who come into micronationalism and then leave, and that's for a number of reasons. But I think one of them ultimately becomes stress and becomes burnout and is in and of itself because of that lack of preparation, that lack of ability to maintain um, that that calm and
Right.
that structure to themselves. So I completely agree. Dealing with that, do you think that there is something that Draconia and Eternia can do to help foster that? Because I feel like even just reading the live chat right now, there are people who are excited about that. There are people who it seems want those ideas and want to learn more about that. And I feel there aren't enough examples of that being put into practice. There are, of course, wonderful micronations who have made connections all around the world and have really shown the good that micronationalism can be, but I don't think there are many people working on the fundamentals. I don't think there are many people who are actually trying to build that roadmap for people. And I think that's something that's very valuable. And I think you would have, and Bruce Alicia as well, would have a lot to contribute there.
I agree. Um, what we as empires can do is lead by example. If we're leading by example, say, in the sense of teaching or sharing, because we're also learning with other kingdoms and empires out there, we have to do what we can to show those root qualities like selflessness. Like I told you yesterday, if it were up to me, I would put down my crown and assist you with your industry. Draconian research and development would lend all of its resources towards your smelting process. What do we get out of it? We get to do something. That's we get to be busy, not necessarily looking for anything. If we are looking for something, we'll say, hey, you know what, we can help with this, and we would like a little bit of say copper, while we're using doing the process for you or whatever else. Emperor AP says fine. We have an agreement. If we say no, our desire, what we want from this is for you to get some more Eternians that are skilled or willing to learn, and then we build them up. That's what we want from you because we want your success. How many times does someone say, what I want from you is to succeed? That's the payment. We don't get that. Where did I learn that? I learned this surprisingly not from human beings. In my practices, without getting into any detail, um, there are certain levels of consciousness that you reach where you are interacting with what appears to be other forms of consciousness. I'm being real PC right now. And sometimes these levels of consciousness make it clear there's nothing we want from you other than for you to use the knowledge we've given you. And I said, wow, okay. And that was the epiphany. It hit me and said, well, what could I really give any anything like that? I'm connecting with other beings or other levels of consciousness. And some would say, oh, that's the young, the Carl Jung archetypes you're talking to, or whatever it is. Doesn't matter. What could I give it? Nothing. Nothing but to exploit the knowledge that I've acquired. So, can I take this into the physical world? Is there really an opportunity for me to do something for someone and all I ask for them to do is to use it? Yeah, there is. So, I would implore all of you to tap that selflessness. Don't don't tax yourself. Don't waste your resources on people that would waste. But in this arena, in this community, there are so many of us that need to grow. And as I indicated to Emperor AP, if the Draconian Empire does not survive or make it, which I don't like saying that out of my mouth, but I know there's every possibility for that, then I want Eternia to blossom in its steed. I mean, like, if something happens where I just can't do this anymore, I would go to Eternia and ask to be a citizen there and give my scientific knowledge and skill to Eternia. But does that have to does Draconia need to fall for that to happen? No, it does not. The more we blossom, the more Eternia blossom. I guess I'm speaking an unofficial unity between the empires, um, if I might be so bold. But uh, I care about Emperor AP and Tiffany, and my Empress does as well, and my children, whom he's never met. They're like, "Oh, Dad, AP's on the phone. I see a text." So you have people here that care about your progress and your growth. And if there are other kingdoms out there that feel the same, I would ask you to give any and all your resources that you can to the elevation of Eternia. And if any of you agree with my philosophy, I'd appreciate some help this way as well. Again, if it can't be about you, okay? If you really are about changing the world, your attitude should be, if I don't make it, somebody has to. Okay. Uh, there's a time when you put the oxygen on yourself so you can take care of the children. And then there's a time where, you know what, it's about the children, put them on my back, put them on my shoulders so they can make it, and I'll take the hit. You have to know when that situation exists. Right now, we're all fledgling empires and kingdoms. Okay. Some of us aren't even crawling yet. Some of us are still on the teat of development, and we're suckling for more nutrients of ideas. Some of us are crawling around, putting stuff in our mouths that shouldn't, like a baby. And that's the analogy. I go with biology and parenting a lot because that's pretty much life. They even call government, what do they call government? Big brother. Okay. There's always some Uncle Sam. So family biology it's inseparable from what we're doing. All right. So I think that what we do is we show people what we are doing on, if not a daily basis, weekly basis. Uh, Emperor AP, as I've said to you guys, he's developing himself. This is a scientist. Emperor AP is a scientist. How many leaders do you get who are scientists? And that was the other thing. I said, wow, another scientist like myself. I said, this is so exciting. Uh, um, Empress Alicia was, I guess she looked at me like didn't know how to respond. But I'm like, he's a scientist. I was so excited because I don't get a chance to talk to people like myself. And we're in a leadership position. That's a very unique position to be in. And our projects, our business, our kingdoms, our empires are going to be rooted in science. So I said, this is a match made in heaven. So I would say that the best thing for us to do is to show the rest of the micronational community what we're truly capable of, so that it kind of challenges them to say, well, what are we capable of? How can we help them? How can we help each other? Okay. Um, what do you have to give is pretty much what you will receive if you're honest and you come in with clean hands, good intentions, and say, yeah, it's not about me, growing faster than anybody else. How can I help them? I don't have any land, but say Draconian Empire needs this and that. I've got that, and they have something we need. Then we can work with each other, or we might end up with land and have no other resources. And another kingdom in Pennsylvania says, "Hey, we're nearby. We can help with this and that." As the years go by, we will develop relations between each other. And when that power blossoms, I'll give you an example, make it quick. Draconia ends up with, say, 100 acres of land, and we're prospering. We got a little village there, and we have a manufacturing plant, and we've got a power plant, and we've got all these other things. And let's say that other larger micronations have recognized us. And 5 years ago, the kingdom in Pennsylvania helped us out really well, and now they're struggling. Well, that's going to come back for them. It's like, what do you guys need? Oh, well, we're this and that, and we're lagging, and we don't have the property still, and it's that yada yada yada. Okay, what we're going to do? We're going to give you loan you a small parcel to keep your thing going, or we're going to do this that. We're going to do something to help you for helping us. Okay, and we need to have those things. These treaties that need to exist need to be real, recognized. You have to take yourself seriously when you're out there. And again, Emperor AP and I would be happy to show you our development. I could share, if you wish, some of the things that I do, how we eat, how I work out, how I practice various things. We live the empire. Again, I stress to everybody, Emperor AP is in school. He is putting a whooping on himself in physics, and which is beautiful. And that, if not, I don't know if you guys really understand the burden he carries on his shoulders, trying to not trying. He is emperor of his own empire, and he's going to school for physics. Physics, it's not like physics because I'm going into this. No, it's physics. He's going after that. Okay, an intentional hitting the head with a hammer. Physics is challenging, but he's doing it. So everyone, please be patient with him. He's doing the best he can with the time he's allotted. And I am currently raising, with my empress, 6 young children. So videos rarely come out of me until I can get more assistance and help with various areas of our lives. But again, our children, our family, this is our business. And I think that all of you need to also treat your kingdoms as your business. It's important that you see it as that on the outside of you. So once we build it on the inside, as I've already gone over, the external aspect is business. You wouldn't mistreat a business. A business you respect because there's taxes. You have to file this. You got meetings. You got all these different things because the state is bearing down on you to keep your nose clean. Well, in this regard, as your kingdom as your business, you need to bear down on you, and others that follow you will bear down on you. Hey, I expect this. You said this, you said that. And being out here on the internet and social media, that's also like a kind of like a watchdog for your actions. So, and long story short, yeah, I think it's just sharing more of what we do as individuals, and then how we interact, how Draconia interacts with Eternia, or if we have a project that would benefit us both, we share that with everybody and let them see our progress. You know, like you're not the only one that is tearing apart transformers when you have time, except the ones I tear apart are usually microwave transformers for little plasma projects. But that's that's what I would say. You know, we just show them how we benefit each other, and we have some distance between us. I know I said the Earth is a small place, but you know, then you get on foot, and then it becomes a very large place. So, but let's not let distance keep us from assisting one another. And I would ask you all to do the same thing. Help any nation that's near you. Help any nation that's far from you. It can be in another continent. You know, don't let distance fool you. You can do a lot for each other, even if you're oceans apart.
Again, very well said, Emperor Bondoon. A rising tide lifts all ships. Um, I have been trying not to speak too much because of my audio quality and also because I wanted to give you as much time as you could. I wanted to go back on a few things that you said a moment ago. Firstly, yes, I definitely consider Emperor Von Doom and Empress Alicia friends. Tiffany and I have grown very fond of you both as well, and I think even if we weren't micronational leaders, if we had interacted in some other fashion, if we had learned about each other in some way, I'm sure we would have been friends there too.
Agreed.
But this is incredibly exciting, and I definitely would say, unofficially for the moment, yes, 100%, there is a level of unity between Eternia and Draconia. I would say as well, just to everybody who's been watching, who's been listening, thank you for your support here. Make sure to support Draconia. Right now, they have their first YouTube video that they dropped, I believe, maybe a month ago, that is out now. Emperor Von Doom goes through explaining a little bit about the Draconian Empire and about what they're interested in. Some of it you've heard here, some of it is unique to that video, so definitely go and check that out. And also subscribe to them. I am personally subscribed. The Empire of Aeternia is subscribed to them, and they are not getting the credit that they deserve. So definitely go and check them out and support them there. As you all heard, they have an incredibly busy life, just as you all are used to with my sporadic videos and the busyness that I get into. They may have similar issues with consistency. Hopefully not. Hopefully you all can do better than we do. But in the moment, I would say definitely give all the support that you can. And just as Emperor Von Doom said, we're all working together for common things. We may have individual goals that are different, but together we all have similarities. And if we can support each other, we can make a name for micronationalism that's bigger than any of us individually. And we can do something that has long lasting effects on the world, on future micronations, and on the individual person. So I am incredibly grateful for Emperor Von Doom's time and sitting here and teaching us a little bit about your perspective on micronationalism, on the world at large. And I feel like just as much as we have become friends, and just as much as you have supported us, and hopefully gotten some help from our content and what we've put out there, I feel like I've definitely learned a lot from you and Empress Alicia. When it comes to governing and when it comes to managing, adult life and kind of a work-life balance, and also even just when it comes to personal standards and how you carry yourself and how you hold yourself. I have great respect for both of you in that fashion. As I'm somebody who is not yet having a family as far as raising children, that's not something that's incredibly far off. I think Tiffany and I are both very serious about each other, and I think we're planning on moving forward with the future stages of our life in relatively short order. And so, that being the case, I look to people like you and Empress Alicia as role models to some extent in in seeing how you are carrying yourself and raising your family and developing who you are, I hope that I can do so with a similar modicum of success. And I appreciate that in some respects we're learning together about micronationalism. And I'm grateful for a friend like that in individuals with you and Empress Alicia, and as well as nations. And I think, as we talked about yesterday on stream, nations have a hard time finding friends and working together, but that is crucial to our development and even our survival. As you talked about, there is, if your nation was to be unable to be kept alive, you would look to Eternia, and I feel very similarly about Draconia. It's a situation where, for the longest time, I was looking for micronations to become a part of before I founded Eternia. And in a similar respect, I think that holds just the same now. If there's ever a situation where I can't continue and where I have resources that need to be utilized, and the things that we've built are not able to be maintained, I would be looking to people like Emperor Von Doom and Empress Alicia for guidance, for taking that and being able to use it and do with it what they can. And trying to become a supporter of them so that they can rise. Micronationalism is something important for the future of humanity, and it's something that's necessary for us to be able to express ourselves politically. And so I think that definitely, if you all decide to go ahead and support Emperor Von Doom and Empress Alicia at the Draconian Empire YouTube channel. Their handle, I believe, is at the Draconian Empire. You can go and support them, and you will be in good hands, certainly. But as well, definitely keep updated with what they're up to. We are going to be working together in the future and continuing to develop. So I certainly appreciate that in you all. But as well, is there anything else that you wanted to touch on? I know Empress Alicia, I will say, has been great during the stream of going through and answering people's questions about Draconia and about our conversation. Anybody who has been in the stream who feels like I've been ignoring questions or that I haven't been looking at the chat as often, it's because I want to respect Emperor Von Doom's time and Draconia as a whole, and listen to their story. But I would definitely recommend reaching out to them directly for more a more thorough explanation than we can give in this time.
I mean, yeah, I'm willing to just leave the floor open for any questions or anything reference to micronational politics on either side. Like I said, I'm just I can talk all day, but I know you're waiting on Tiffany, and we have a limited amount of time. So again, if there's any questions other than the topic, I'm, I'm game.
Cool deal. I guess what I'll do is I'll go ahead and see if I can't look through a couple comments, find one or two before we get out of here. As well, real quick, Emperor Von Doom, as an aside, would you be available for a quick conversation after we end the stream?
Sure.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Let me go ahead and check these comments real fast. Also, to everybody, thank you for liking the video. I know the quality's been a little weird on my end, so I appreciate that. And if you guys do liking the video, hopefully we can do more of this with a higher quality next time. I'll get the settings figured out. So it seems like Emperor Tiberius from the Empire of Calypso had questions regarding a little bit more about you and Empress Alicia's religious practices, the religious practices in Draconia. It seems like he had a good few of them answered by Empress Alicia, so I'll
Okay.
leave that for another time. But that may be something good to do a video on, or maybe when we do another live stream to discuss in some more
Sure.
detail. Um, uh, Torrance reached out. I believe he's reaching out to you, Emperor Von Doom, saying, "Emperor, I have a micronation slash microstate project based in Alabama. I would like to connect with you sometime." Um, and Empress Alicia saying that she can't hear me very well. My apologies. I hope the audio improves, but I'm not sure what to do exactly at this moment.
Right.
But
Yeah.
did you
Just
have any?
if anyone wants to reach out, yeah, just email us. Uh, yeah, go to our site, our email, Empress Alicia. I don't know if she's posted it or not, but you can just reach out to us. We can discuss things then.
Absolutely. What I'll do, I haven't posted the Empire of Draconian Empire's links in our description yet, but I'm gonna go ahead and do that after the stream.
Okay.
So yeah, hopefully, if you guys check back on the stream later, you can see some of that.
Okay.
So we can kind of route more people to Draconian.
Okay. Cool.
That being the case, do you have any final thoughts? Any final words, Emperor Von?
Yeah, I have one thing I'd like to say. Expanding on the purpose of your project, um, you want to make certain that you're not biting off more than you can chew. Some projects will be considered more antagonistic, more of a threat to the macronation that you are a part of. And one of the things that helped me to really finalize the decision to go full steam with this micronation was the acceptance. This is going to be really funny. The acceptance of being an American. Now, how does that work? Well, I told you I went through an evolutionary process of what they call the angry black man to I don't have anything to one stage or another, and you going up and down, up and down. And then I realized this is all a game. Everyone's being played. And then when I saw, I understood that it was just really a smokescreen for what was really going on. And I realized I'm an American. And then I threw off the shackles of that false identity of African American, Black, Negro American, anything that's ever been thrown in this direction. I said, no, I'm master of my own destiny. And here's the point: being master of your own destiny, does that mean that you're master of everybody else? No. You need to be in the company of others who are masters of their own destiny. That is how you progress. A room of masters. A master isn't a boss, okay? Especially master of oneself, all right? You need to make certain that you are true to who you are. So when I discovered I'm an American, I fought for that. And the more I saw people buck against me, I said, there's the truth. I can call myself anything, anything other than American, and things were fine. I started calling myself American. You can't sign that. You can't call yourself that. Uh, I am an American. We're going to call our manager. We're going to call the police. You can't sign that. I've run into so many instances where you cannot call yourself an American or sign American. And I saw the game ran deeper. So then I said, you know what? Let me look further into what's going on. Long story short, I said, now I understand I can be what I truly am. Okay. We're all being lied to. And I discovered the truth, but I can't go out here saying, it's a lie. It's a lie. You have to stop. No. I said, no. I will recreate myself, and I will find others who wish to recreate themselves. Sort of like that you hear everyone talks about leaving the matrix. Well, you can either leave the matrix or you can master the matrix. And I think in this case, we need to master the matrix, and we can step in and out as we choose, because there's so much to benefit from. And I am draconian. That's it. But draconian from American, I realize I like America. Okay, I don't like the crap that goes on here. Okay, but I love this place, and I think a lot of you do too. We just don't like the way things are being run. So I left the matrix mentally, and I'm back in, to reformat some things, if you understand my meaning. So know what you're doing. Make sure you're not biting off too much or more than you can handle. All right, and start small. Always start small. Don't rush anything. So that's all I'm going to say to the rest of you. Don't rush it.
Again, continued wisdom by Emperor Von Doom. I certainly appreciated Emperor Von Doom. I know I'm cutting us a little bit short, but Tiffany has arrived, so I
Okay.
appreciate your time here, spending with us. No, thank you. Sorry, I appreciate your time here with us. I again implore everybody who is watching right now, please go and check out the Empire of Draconia and the Draconian Empire on YouTube. It's I believe the at symbol, the Draconian Empire. Please go check out their channel. Please go and support them through their website. By any means you can, email them. Please reach out. Again, I personally have taken a lot of wisdom from Emperor Von Doom, and I appreciate his and Empress Alicia's support and friendship. And I am excited for our future together. I'm looking forward to it. And on that note, I will reach out to you in just a second, Emperor Von Doom.
Okay.
Thank you to everybody who was a part of the stream tonight,
Thank
and
you,
we'll
everyone.
see you all next time.
All right.
Aeternia and Draconia forever.
Forever.